Hi guys, it's Tutu Tuesday. I figured that I owe you one. I missed last week. We were gone out of town, so it just didn't work out for me to do it. And when I did have cell phone service or internet, it was all sketchy, and so I thought I'm just gonna wait. Okay, I want to talk to you today about Mind and Mission. We've got two things coming up right now. One, I think that if you know, I always kind of look at where is the spotlight? If there's a spotlight from heaven, where is it? You know, what's it on? And I believe what it's on right now is that we've got to take chances. What does that mean? That means that we need to have the mind of Christ. If we have the mind of Christ, we're not afraid. We're not afraid to launch out, do new things. We're not afraid to explore new ideas. We're not afraid to take risks. You know, I mean, every place I've gone, I've had to take risk. You know, there's no guarantees in all the places that we go and take our outreach teams. And so we have to have a mindset that says we're going to go about the mission. We're going to complete the mission. We've all been given one. Each one of us. I just posted the other day, you had a purpose before anyone had an opinion. And that's so true. You know, you have a purpose before anybody had an opinion. And we've got to be about whatever God's wanting us to do. I've got a lot of things in my mind. I've had them in my mind for a long time. And ever since we were doing outreach, when we started doing all these outreaches and we began to see the hunger, the desire, the way that people wanted to hear, they wanted to know, they wanted to be enlightened, they wanted to have an understanding of whatever God was doing. And then I had a friend who had a dream. And we were creating the dream doc at that time, the dream documentary. And he had a dream during that time of filming, and he saw basically hell open up and Satan just vomiting all kinds of stuff from hell on the earth. And people were eating it like candy, and they thought it was okay. And so last night I was looking through, you know, I just thought I'm gonna take a break for a minute and looking through the Hallmark channels, which are horrible, those movies. You know, the Evan Mitts match the apron, and they've all got cookies and hot chocolate and whatever else, you know. It's just mindless. But there was a banner of a thing that came up, and I can't find it right now, but it was it was something about an attack on the children. It was training children how to kill. And I just thought, this goes along with the dream that my friend had, where he saw hell just open up and just vomit up stuff, you know, that people would just be eating it and thinking it's okay. And this is the kind of world that we live in right now. So we get to come in an opposite spirit, but also I'm going to take some chances because I've had it in my mind for a number of years, and every single time it's been compromised. There's been something that hasn't happened for me, or it's come to a finish line and I've been tripped at the finish line, you know, and I haven't been able to get it out. And when we've gone out and we've interpreted dreams, or we've given words to people, or we've been in certain places and God has given us language that communicates well, people are so impacted. There's a portal that opens up. We need to know that we are containers of a Holy Spirit that literally creates a portal for us, right? So we're not going out on our own all by ourselves. We're going out knowing that God's gone before us, and He's bringing up the rear guard. So we watch this happen, and I'm always thinking, why isn't this being broadcast on a broader scale? Why does Netflix and Prime and all these other, you know, media sources, why do they have series of that kind of content where it's so evil and it's so wicked and it's so, you know, atrocious? And we have got answers, and we've got gold, basically, that will set people free and bring them into complete, total freedom. It's our mission, right? Mindset and mission. Why don't we create something and pop it up on Netflix and go, really? Look at this. Here's something for you, because everybody dreams. It's inexhaustible. I pitched this years ago as a reality series to a guy that was a reality creator. And I kept telling him, this was in like 2000, I don't know, 6 or 7. I kept saying, this is like a golden egg. It's inexhaustible. There's no way you're going to get through all these people. Is there a beginning and an end? No. Why? Because you might have a dream and 20 years from now it's fulfilled. So yeah, you can't wait 20 years to get the end or the fulfillment of a dream that someone has had. But what you can do is you can present a message And you can now open up a lifestyle, and you can let people see that there's hope regardless of where you may be, what you might be into, whatever kind of situation you get yourself into. And we could create something and pop it up on one of these things as an alternative or to combat the negative death junk that Satan is bringing. We should be the most creative people on the planet. There's no limit to what we can do. And also God will finance what he births. That's something we need to realize. I think sometimes sit back and we're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how are we going to get this done? Well, I'll tell you this, we created a complete documentary that we pitched at Sundance Film Festival in Park City, Utah, and Sundance turned it down. So we just rented a screen from the Slam Dance. They run concurrently. We rented a screen and showed it ourselves and advertised it all up and down Main Street. And we had a line of people to get in, and we didn't have any money. We had none, like no money to do this. And God did it. God brought it in. Somebody sprung for a camera. Somebody sprung for people to come because they wanted to have a part in editing and in filming and putting this together and lighting. And camera guy came in from Kansas City. Never seen him before, didn't know who he was, just somebody that knew somebody that knew somebody that wanted to do it. And I'm looking at this going, what the heck? And so here's this reality show creator who marries a reality show buyer for a major network. And I'm like, guys, this is a golden egg. You don't get it. You don't see this. But we are being given now something that we've got to move on. I think I'm more passionate now than I've ever been about this kind of stuff. Why? Because we think way too small. We think too small. We just don't think that God will do something like that. Well, I can tell you this: if Satan is vomiting up stuff on the earth and people are eating it like candy because they're living in darkness, deep darkness, then God will provide light in that moment and in that place and in that time. And he will bless it. And when he blesses it, there's a spotlight on it. And when there's a spotlight on it, there is all kinds of something that is attractive that people want. And I think what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to get all of us now to begin to think bigger. We don't need to be boxed up. We were never meant to be boxed up. It was never God's choice for us to be boxed up. It was not something that that he wanted for us. But we've done it because of fear, because of limitations perceived, or whatever kind of thing. It's like, I'm telling you, this is a word of knowledge for you. I'm not the only one feeling this. It's almost like if you're going to do it now. If you're ever going to do something, you need to do it now. If you're going to write a book, write it now. If you're going to do a film project, do it now. If you're going to create something, a business, do it now. If you're going to move now. If you're going to whatever, do it now. Now is the time. Now is the time to do this. And God will bless it. He will put you in the place you need to be with the people that you need to be surrounded with, and he will cause things to come together. And we saw it on a very small scale when we did Dreams, a documentary, which you can get on my website, by the way. It's only $10. And I'm telling you, it had flaws. It had flaws. I'm going to tell you, the documentary had flaws. The lighting was bad. Sometimes you couldn't hear, the microphones weren't always good, but the content was there. And it also won 8 awards across the world. 1 in Egypt, 1 in Ireland, 1 in Hawaii, 1 in Mexico, and Hollywood First Glance. I mean, it's like, and we were just novices. We didn't even know what we were doing. But we created something that gave people hope. That gave them something to hold on to. That gave them, and we just used the encounters that we had that God gave us on the streets of Sundance. And we put them together in a compilation of these stories from people's lives. And people wanted it, and they wanted more. And they were waiting in line to get tickets for the next showing. And then they went to the Sundance box office to get tickets to a movie that Sundance turned down. Because there was nothing out there that was worth watching. I mean, it's time, guys. The mind and the mission. Now we have the mind. We've got to adjust our mind to think like God does. He's not small. He's not small, and he's not shrinking back. He is, if anything, he's more aggressive than he's ever been. He's giving people ideas. He's giving people creative ideas, invention ideas. He's giving us things that we've never seen, we've never understood. We didn't know about that before. He's downloading us for the days that we live in right now. He's literally doing that. But I'm telling you, do it now. It is a now moment. It is a now time. The mindset has to change. We cannot be locked up, blocked up, and suffocated by whatever kind of distraction or whatever kind of thing comes our way, or whatever fear may come and try and attack us on certain levels. You know what? Let's just go. You every time you get in the car, you're taking a risk. So let's do this stuff, man. We got people that are dying. They're literally losing hope. They don't have anywhere to go. That's my passion. It just is. And I even talked about this on Sid Roth. You know, it's like, we've got to get with it. We have to get with it, man. We cannot sit back any longer and just expect everything to fall in place. We have to go after what we want. And you have to pursue it, and you have to be persistent, and you have to start saying, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. So you got a mindset that's got to change. We all do, because we're living in different days. We're not living in days that we lived in years ago. I talk about this all the time, but we're living in days now, future, and going on. And God sees what's going on. He's not shocked. He's not freaking out. He's not having a meltdown. And he's telling us, look, I've given you all things, literally given you all things that pertain to life and godliness in Christ Jesus. All things are ours. We have all authority. I don't know what we're waiting for. So I'm not waiting any longer. And I'm going to start pursuing some of the dreams, some of the things that I'm believing big. Every time I sign my book, whether it's what your dreams are telling you or words that work, I'm always saying, dream big, you know. I'm taking my own advice, dream big, you know. We're going to dream big, because my whole realm, my whole focus is on the field, and it's on God's heart, and it's on what does he want, and how does he want us to navigate in these days right now. What is it? And stop living in fear, and stop living in hesitation, and stop it. Just go for it and let God bring you in and show you the goodness, his goodness in this world right now in the land of the living. God's going to show it to us, and he's going to finance everything he tells us to do. So I know I'm worked up, but I got fired up last night when I saw some of the originals, you know, Netflix original and Prime original. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? This is murder. This is teaching children that it's okay, that there's no value to life. There's no love, you know? And I'm like, well, I'm going to bring it from another perspective and show you that there most certainly is, because when the words of God go out of your mouth, even in an interpreted dream or whatever it might be, when those words go out of your mouth, they break off demonic strongholds. They clear out the mind, and they cause people to see things the way they really are, because the truth sets people free. And he who the Son sets free is free indeed. And that's what happens. And then they begin to go, oh my gosh, I never saw that. I didn't understand. I didn't know. I had no idea. I'm like, wow, what was that? What was that presence? What was that feeling? What was that atmosphere that was shifted when you walked in? What was that kind of thing? Oh, it's heaven. It's just heaven. Who swallowed up hell, by the way? You know, where Satan has no power except what you give him. And I'm not giving him any. So, okay, I know I'm on a rant. So I love you guys, and I'm just telling you, it is time now. The word is now. It is now time for us to move forward. Let's move forward. Let's do this thing. Yeah, you're not going to have it all together. Yeah, you're not going to know what it's all going to look like. Yeah, all of that. All of it. Been there, done that, know that. And it's like, doesn't matter. We're going to keep going, and we're going to push through, and we're going to watch God take over. We're going to watch the light of the Lord shine on us. We are going to blow up like a torch. It's going to be incredible what God does with us in the last days, but we have to be willing to do it. Okay, that's my rant for today. That is my message for the day. That's a word for you. Now, do it now. Don't wait. You don't have time to wait. Just do it now. Just do it now, immediately. Peter dropped his net and followed Jesus. Didn't ever see him, never knew him before. That was his livelihood. He just dropped everything and went after him and said, okay, let's go. Let's do this thing. So Okay, we're going to do that. Go on my website, sign up for my shout, cindymcgill.org, and also get my book, Words at Work. If you haven't gotten it, get it. It's also being translated into the Ukraine right now. Hello. Tim just got back from the Ukraine and from Spain, and we're getting ready. Some girl says, I'm going to translate this book into Ukrainian so that we can pass it out. We can give it to everyone out here, and we're going to raise up teams in the Ukraine and in Spain and in Germany. Some guy got a hold of me from Germany. I was so encouraged. She said, we've watched all your videos. We have watched you. We have read your book. We've seen, and we are practicing everything that you put in there. And you're reaching far more than what you think. And he says, we've got a team. They just went to some party island there in Spain. And they were there during the party time. And they were reaching people all over using Words at Work. I'm like, come on. Let's do this thing. Everybody has a part. But they decided that they weren't going to let their limited minds dictate what their mission was. They were going to use God's mind to do his mission for them. So go on my website. Be sure and go on my YouTube and like it and subscribe to it, because that's what keeps us going. And I'm not banned anymore. So that's a good thing, I think, maybe. I don't know. And also Rumble. I'm on Rumble, so make sure you go there. Sign up for the Shout. That's where I'm doing some more dream classes, but I'm going to be recording them so that you can download them and play them at your leisure, so you can be trained on dreams. We're raising up dream teams. We're raising up outreach teams. We're raising up an army. I'm going to do a leaders training this coming year just for people that are already leading outreach teams. I'm going to do a leaders training, and we're going to take this thing, it's just how it goes. So, all right, pray that all the media stuff, I know media is a big part of what I do. It's in my heart. It's something that I've always wanted, and I want to see it go to the world. I do. I just want to see it go to the world. I want to, and I have the language for it. God's already trained me. I've got the language to speak to the world. I've been on the Ghost Hunters 5 different times interpreting dreams for people that call in and they're not saved. So, yeah. All right. I love you guys, and thank you for watching my rant. And I will be back on next week. Okay, bye.